Hello, this is Mrs. Ross, and I'm going to attempt to go through these notes. You're going to want to be able to pause it because I'm going to go a little bit fast, but I'll go through these notes to make sure that you have what you need. So, Module C, Unit 1, Lesson 1, Matter and Energy in Organisms. So the first thing we need to do is define matter, which is on page 6. So let me go ahead and scroll down in my book. Let's see, that's page 4. This is page probably 5. And this is page 6. Let me just double check. Oh, I think I see it. Okay, so oops, what happened? Nope, not what I wanted. Okay, so this is page 6, and here's the definition of matter. Anything living or non-living that has mass and takes up space. You'll write that here. Why do living things need matter? Let's see. Living things need matter to live because it provides them with materials needed to grow and carry out life processes. So that's right here. You'll want to write that there. And then let me go ahead and come to this side. And we're going to scroll down. We have our first quick check. It says, why is the ability to move important to animals? And gives us some options. It helps them find food, it helps them stay warm, it helps them obtain oxygen, it helps them differentiate cells. It is that it helps them find food. We have another quick check. Worms break down dead animals in the soil and release nutrients. Which property of nutrients shows they are matter? Let's see. It shows they are matter. Nutrients are warm, nutrients have mass, nutrients can do work, nutrients contain energy. If we go back to the top, what is the definition of matter? Anything living or non-living that has mass and takes up space. So the answer is going to be B, nutrients have mass. That's what makes them matter. Next quick check question. All living things require matter. Explain why life on Earth depends on matter. And the answer to this is that living things need matter such as food and water to survive, grow, and carry out life processes. Living things need matter such as food and water to survive, grow, and carry out life processes. Now this question has a second part. Describe how plants and animals get the matter they need to survive. Plants get the matter they need from their roots and from their environment. Animals get the matter they need from eating food and drinking water. Plants get the matter they need from their roots and from the environment. Animals get the matter they need from eating food and taking in water or drinking water. Okay, so we've done those quick checks. We're going to come down to molecule, which is on page 8. So let's go ahead and scroll down to page 8 because we're currently on page 6 in our book. That's page 7. This is page 8. There's the definition of molecule. It's made up of 2 or more atoms held together by chemical bonds. You'll write that here. What do organisms need to live, grow, and reproduce? That's on page 9, so let's move this down. That's 8. This is 9, so I'm assuming it's down here at the bottom. Let's see if we can't move this over and just double check. Oh, okay, lovely. There we go. Is it going to show us if it's... There's page 9. Okay, let's go back up a little bit. Back over. There we go. What do organisms need to live, grow, and reproduce? Organisms need a constant source of energy to live, grow, and reproduce. It's right here. And what's the definition of energy? Energy is the ability to cause change. The ability to cause change. Where does energy come from? Let's see. Energy comes in many forms. Some examples are light energy from the sun, or energy stored in the bonds of food. And you'll want to write all of that here. Sorry. And then we have another quick check. What form of energy is stored in food? And we're going to say, is it heat, light energy, energy of motion, or energy in molecules? It's going to be energy in molecules. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. And then we have another quick check. Living things are made mostly of 4 elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Describe how plants and animals obtain these elements. Okay, so plants and animals obtain these elements from their environment, and here are some examples. Animals drink water, which is hydrogen and oxygen. Animals consume food that contains carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and water. Plants take in water and nitrogen from their roots, and plants get carbon when they absorb CO2 through their leaves. I'll say that again. Plants and animals obtain these elements from their environment. Animals drink water, which is hydrogen and oxygen. Animals consume food that contains carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and water. Plants take in water and nitrogen from roots. Plants get carbon when they absorb CO2 through their leaves. So if you need to pause and write that down, you can. And yes, you do want to write all of it down. All right, now we're on page 12 looking for the definition of producer. Let's see if we can get this down. So that's 10. We see here in the corner that that's page 10. That means this is page 11. And this is 12. You can see right there. So the definition of a producer is an organism that uses energy and matter from the environment to make its own food molecules. An organism that uses energy and matter from the environment to make its own food molecules. You'll write that here. Where do producers use energy? Let's see. In order to live, producers must obtain. Let's see. If it tells us, use energy, provide energy. Let's see when they use it. Many producers use energy from the sunlight to make sugar molecules from carbon dioxide and water. So producers use energy from the sun to make sugar from carbon dioxide and water. That would go here. And then we're on to page 13. So that's 12. This is 13. So definition of a consumer is an organism that gets energy and matter by eating other organisms. Definition of a consumer is an organism that gets energy and matter by eating other organisms. Then we have the definition of a decomposer, which is on the same page. So let's scooch down a little bit. You can also follow along on your paper copy of the book. A decomposer is an organism that gets energy and matter by breaking down the remains of other organisms that have died. So you'll write that here, that a decomposer is an organism that gets energy and matter by breaking down the remains of other organisms that have died. So let's go back to our notes and see what this question is. What else do decomposers break down besides the remains of other organisms? Let's see. They also break down the wastes of other organisms. So they also break down the wastes of other organisms. And that's right here. What happens without decomposers? What happens without decomposers? So that's down here. Without decomposers, the matter that makes up organisms would not be recycled back to the non-living environment. You'll want to write that here. Without decomposers, the matter that makes up organisms would not be recycled back to the non-living environment. And then we have our next quick check. It says, how do organisms get the energy that they need? Plants get energy from fertilizers, animals get energy from water. Plants get energy from soil, animals get energy directly from sunlight. Plants do not need energy because they do not move. Animals get energy from food. Plants use energy from sunlight to make sugar molecules. Animals get energy from eating other organisms. So the answer is going to be D, or the very last one there. Okay, let's scroll down. Next, we need to go to page 19 to answer what is the source of almost all energy on Earth. So let's move this down. I'll go ahead and do the arrow, if it will. Really? There we go. So it's 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I think I might have gone too far. There's 18. Nope, we're going all the way to 19. Here we go. And the answer is right here. The sun is the source of almost all energy on Earth. So you'll write the sun. How do phototrophs use energy? Phototrophs, most plants, algae, and bacteria, they use energy from the sun to change water and carbon dioxide into sugars and oxygen. So phototrophs use energy from the sun to change water and carbon dioxide into sugars and oxygen. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go over here and continue this. We have some more quick checks. Some consumers, such as flying insect bugs, need large amounts to move of, I guess we'll never know. What are they needing large amounts of? Energy. Large amounts of energy to move from one place to another. How do consumers get energy to function? So consumers obtain all of their energy by eating other organisms. That is the answer. Okay. Let's scroll back, and we need to find the definition of chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis. So let's go back to our page. We have chemotrophs, and chemosynthesis is right here. Chemosynthesis is the process by which chemotrophs convert carbon dioxide and sugar molecules by using the energy stored in molecules such as hydrogen sulfide. Chemosynthesis is the process by which chemotrophs convert carbon dioxide and sugar molecules by using the energy stored in molecules such as hydrogen sulfide. And now I have a bonus question that you're going to need to answer because it's on probably one of your tests. It says, compare and contrast chemosynthesis to photosynthesis. Chemosynthesis and photosynthesis, what they have in common, or what they have that is similar, is that they both create energy. They're both processes that create energy. What they have that is different, or what is contrasting between the two, is that photosynthesis uses the energy from the sun, whereas chemosynthesis uses the energy stored in molecules. That's the difference. Okay? So let's go ahead and finish these quick check questions, and then we'll be done with our notes. Dylan drew a diagram showing that certain organisms eat other organisms. The diagram included a caption stating the amount of available energy decreases with each organism that is eaten. How is this explained by the law of conservation of energy? Okay. Living things change energy into matter. No. Some of the energy is used for life processes. So it's B. So the answer to this is B. Some of that energy is used for life processes. Carbon exists in many forms on the Earth. The diagram shows part of the carbon cycle. What does this diagram show? It shows how matter can pass through the ecosystem. That is the answer, A. And then the last question we have, decomposition is a physical and chemical process by which dead organic matter is broken down. Why is decomposition important to life processes? It returns carbon and nutrients to the environment. Decomposition returns carbon and nutrients to the environment. And I think that is the end. Please let me know if you have any questions.